Good morning, everybody. Luis Morales here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. It is a beautiful sunny Thursday morning here in Northern California. Perfect time to break away from the desk, get a little bit of light stretching and light movement in. Now, before we get that started, if there's anything that you feel needs any particular extra love shown to it, or is just feeling a little tight, something that we can get into today, feel free to go ahead and drop it in the chat, or you can come off mute and say it out loud if you'd like. You can always work it into the routine. Lower back. Ooh, okay. For sure can get some lower back work in. What should we do for that lower back? All right. Still waiting on some more suggestions. Thank you, Brittany, for your suggestion, for your request, I should say, for lower back. What we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to start in standing. Now, we're going to go ahead and stretch out the front of these upper legs here by doing a nice little quad stretch. Now, in order for this to not be a balancing exercise for you guys, feel free to grab, a wall, a piece of furniture, and take that balancing portion out of the equation here as we grab one leg and stand on the other. So find your space, find a safe spot. If you're okay standing on one leg, great. Let's go ahead and shift all our weight into that right foot. So we're gonna be standing on our right foot. We're gonna go ahead and scoop up that left foot or that left ankle into our left hand. Pull that heel all the way up in close to our glutes here. So as we get our heels nice and close to the glutes, we want to check in, where are our hips at? Can we squeeze the glutes and bring our hips under us for real? Does that really exaggerate the stretch here in the quads? We want to make sure those knees are pretty much right next to each other. You can see from mine that they are pretty close together, pointed straight down at the ground instead of just way out here to the side, pointing out at some angle. We want to keep them nice and close together, get a nice true quad stretch here. Let's breathe, fill up that belly with air as we go. Exhale, nice and soft, nice and controlled. Stretching out that quad. One more big breath here, guys. Good, and on that controlled exhale, we can slowly let go of that ankle or foot. However, we're holding on to that left leg. Put it down, shake it out for a moment, and then we'll switch it over to the other side. So all our weight's in that left foot. We're gonna slowly scoop up that right foot or right ankle, bring that heel in close to our glute here. Find where the hips are at. Can we squeeze the glutes? Bring the hips under us. Keep that knee pointed down towards the ground next to the other one. For a nice quad stretch here, breathing as we go. Good work, everybody, good work. Last big breath here. Keep that stretch going. Good, and on that exhale, we can slowly let go of that right foot or ankle, put it down onto the ground. Good work, you guys. Okay, we're gonna stay in standing next here. We're gonna get into those inner thighs a little bit now. So let's go ahead and develop a nice wide stance. Now, this doesn't have to be the widest stance you've ever stood in. We wanna make sure that those feet can be fully connected to the ground. So all our toes are on the ground, heels on the ground, outside of the foot is on the ground, and those toes are pointed pretty much straight forward here, like we're standing on some nice wide train tracks. So what we're gonna do from here, a little bit of lateral squat. We're gonna go for one side and then get a nice stretch in that other leg. So let's start by bending that right knee. Wanna push that right knee out towards our pinky toe, push those hips back like we're gonna sit down on a stool, and try and find some stretch in that opposite inner left thigh here. And once we find it, let's take a nice deep breath, and then we'll use that right leg, push us back in the middle, squeeze those glutes. Now it's time for the other side. Let's bend That left knee, push those hips back like we're gonna sit down and find that stretch on the inner right thigh. Take a breath in this position. Can you own this position? All right, let's push back to the middle with the left. Squeeze those glutes, hips are back under us. Nicely done. All right, we're gonna do one more each side here. Right knee bends, hips are pushed back, core is on, chest is up. Feeling that stretch, breathing into that stretch. And then we can push ourselves back to the middle, squeeze those glutes. All right, last one here. Find that stretch. Are your feet still flat on the ground? Is the chest still up? Good work, everyone. Breathe. One more breath here into this stretch. Good, and we can push ourselves back in the middle, squeeze those glutes. All right, nicely done, guys. So what we're gonna do now is stay in this wide stance. So let those feet stay planted where they're at. What we're gonna do is a little bit of forward fold action. So let's go ahead and push those hips back like we're trying to touch a wall that's right behind us. We're gonna go ahead and let the whole upper body come down towards the ground here in the middle of our nice wide stance. And for here and for this position for a moment, we just want to hang out. So whether your hands are on the ground or not, let those arms get real heavy. Let the head hang. Just try and get some stretching of those hamstrings, maybe a little bit in the low back. Check in. Can you breathe in this position? Nice work, you guys. All right, so we're starting to feel the blood rush into our head. That's okay. Let's go ahead and walk those hands over to our left side here. So we're either reaching for the toes, the left foot, the ankle, maybe it's the shin, whatever's available to us here today. We're kind of opening up that right lower back here. Once we find a comfortable position that's not too intense, let's go ahead and take some nice deep breaths. As we inhale, we want that lower abdomen to really balloon up. This is going to help us loosen up some of those muscles around the lower rib cage, around the lower spine, lumbar spine. Just breathing as we go. Let's do one more big breath. Nicely done, everyone. All right, now let's walk those hands back into the middle. We're hanging here for a second. And then we can walk those hands all the way out to the right. Again, reaching for, the ground, the toes, the ankle, the shin, whatever we can in order to get a medium-ish stretch into that hamstring, into that low back maybe. And let's practice that breathing. So trying to make the entire midsection expand here. Left lower back is kind of stretched out. Let's breathe into that area. Good job, you guys. One more big breath. Good. Let's walk ourselves back into the middle. Hands are reaching for, resting on the ground here. Let's take one more really deep breath in this position. Nicely done, everyone. All right. So in order to bring ourselves all the way up, let's go ahead and bend those knees ever so slightly, and then slowly start to bring those hips under us, rolling up our spine, one vertebra at a time, squeezing those glutes, head, neck, and shoulders, last thing to come up. Nicely done, everyone. Okay. Last thing that we're going to do here today, we're going to get down all the way onto the ground and do a little bit of rotation. So remove my camera here for a moment. Feel free to grab a pillow, a yoga block, something to support your head if that's what you prefer. The head can float or just rest on the ground for this one as well. So it really is up to your preference. All right, so we're down here. I'm on my side, laying on my right side to start. Doesn't particularly matter which side you start on. But I got my knees and my hips stacked up on top of each other. Now, this whole lower body section is not going to move as we start to move through the torso and through the upper spine. So make sure to keep these knees glued together. Make sure they're not shifting around, anything crazy like that. We're going to go ahead and start with those arms out front, one on top of the other. And that top arm is the one that's going to be moving here. So we're going to open up kind of like a big book. The head is going to follow that top hand that's moving, and we're going to open up as far as we comfortably can, rotating through the middle of that spine and turning our head as well. So once you get out into that outstretched position, just take a deep breath. Feel how much that exhale kind of releases as far as how much rotation that you have available to you today. And then let's begin to close that book, keeping our eye on that moving hand the entire time. Good job, you guys. All right, you can start to move at your own pace. We're only going to do a couple on each side here. But it's important to note, if you're feeling extra stiff like I am currently, rest assured it is okay, because in the morning we're typically pretty tight with this one. It also takes a solid amount of reps, anywhere from 10 to 15, to really start to loosen up the middle of that spine, loosen up all those muscles that were pretty much static overnight here. The more we move today, the more this will loosen up. We're just going as far as we comfortably can. This morning, we're going to do one more rep here on this side. So wherever you're at, let's open up and close the book one more time, keeping your eye on that hand as it moves. Well done, you guys. Well done. Keep that breathing up. So we close the book on this side for the last time. Feel free to just flip over onto the opposite side for you. I'm going to spin myself around so you guys can see the front side here. All right, so same identical setup here on the other side. Knees stacked up on top of each other, up around hip level. This is all going to stay solid, nice and still as we rotate. So the opposite arm is on top now. We're going to open up like a big book, turning that head to watch our moving hand. Breathing as we go. Going as far as we comfortably can. And then closing the book, watching that hand all the way. All right, guys, two more here. Make sure you're still breathing. Definitely helps to take a breath when we pause in that outstretched position. Nicely done, everyone. All right, wherever we're at, last one here. Nicely done, guys. Let's close the book. Final time here. Breathing as we do it. Nicely done, everybody. Nicely done. All right, feel free to stay in that position and continue if you'd like. That is going to be all the time I have left for this stretch break here on this beautiful Thursday morning. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. And don't forget, as far as the live offerings that we have going today, it is Exercise with Exos at 12 noon. There's another stretch break with me at 2:30 p.m. We also have a 4:30 p.m. Abs and core / mobility with Brittany. So all good offerings here today. Hope to see you guys later in those. Take care. We'll see you guys next time.